What's up everybody, it's the Higgs here, and this is your one-stop shop for gaming countdowns, rants, reviews, and more MMO play dailies. So now that we're about halfway through 2015, I thought we'd take a moment to begin reflection and projection for the rest of the year. Now, some of the games that have come out this year have been mind-blowingly awesome. I mean, Mortal Kombat is crazy good, and The Witcher 3 is obviously a masterpiece. But not every game hits the mark, and some of the festering turds already released this year are astoundingly bad. So let's take a moment to make fun of the baddies with our top 5 worst games of 2015, probably. First up is a game that's out already, Dragonball Xenoverse. Now, this game attempted to unright some previous wrongs in the franchise by allowing greater character customization, but in the end, fell victim to your usual problems. The online mode was down for extended periods of time, weeks in some cases, but what lands it on this list are a handful of core problems that sap any enjoyment right out of the experience. First off, the game is grindy Cocoa Puffs. To get a lot of stuff worth having in that game, expect to spend hours and hours doing the same things over and over again. There are other design issues here, like the group system, but in general, it seems like the developers just didn't really know what they wanted this game to be, or if they did know, they just didn't have the resources to execute it that well. Like that boob job I got. See? You couldn't even tell, could you? Bad execution. Next up comes a game that inspired a lot of trepidation and excitement before it was released, mostly because people thought there was no way it could live up to the hype. Turns out that the haters were right when it comes to The Order 1886. Now, I was definitely on the side of it might be awesome, as I usually am with this title, but it didn't take long for me to change my story. While no one doubts that the visuals in this game are nearly unparalleled, that's really all the game's got going for it. And that would be a lot if the rest of the experience weren't so absolutely boring. Which in my opinion is worse than bad. I'd rather a game take a series of missteps than to take no steps at all. I mean, this thing was in development for 5 years, and this is what came out. I've had more interesting dumps that took 24 hours to percolate than the lackluster narrative and atrociously simple gameplay in The Order 1886. It's a lot like your average Kardashian, actually. It's pretty, but there's not much really else. Now we climb our way onto Speculation Mountain, where we say a lot of things that we have to take back later. The rest of the entries on this list are games yet to release. At number 3, we've got No Man's Sky. So this game is basically an open galaxy sort of deal where you have a spaceship that you can fly around and explore pretty much anything you like. It reminds me of Spore, but with better graphics and fewer strange mating procedures. What makes this game seem like it's gonna suck is that I just don't understand the point of it. I mean, okay, you get to fly around and see really cool stuff, but doesn't that get boring? I mean, I watched the gameplay trailer and I was already reaching for the back button like 30 seconds in. Next up comes a game in the vein of Telltale. I am talking Until Dark. Now, this is a horror game set in a remote, wintry paradise. Like, seriously, who in their right mind wants to go to these places as a retreat? I mean, if you're gonna go somewhere for fun, go somewhere that humans normally live. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, this game is supposed to be a slasher sort of deal where there's a villain trying to kill everyone in the cabin. So it's way less Amnesia, The Dark Descent, and way more Illbleed. I think this one's going to be rough though, because again, I'm just not sure how interesting it's going to be as a game. As a movie, maybe. But this is the sort of problem for this whole Telltale genre generation of narrative-driven games, in my opinion. Even if you do have fun with it, how much replay value are you talking about? Or DLC stuff? Is 6 to 10 hours of fun gameplay really worth $60? I think all in all, like losing your virginity, you're really just gearing up for a letdown with this one. Now, number 1's gonna come as a shock if you've been watching this show for a while. It is Tom Clancy's The Division. Now look, I've talked about how great this game's gonna be in the past. I even included it on my top 10 MMOs of 2015 list, very high on the list, in the hopes that it would be as great as it seems. But as we inch closer and closer to release, I'm starting to have my doubts. Does it still look awesome? Yeah, it totally does. Too awesome. So awesome, in fact, that I'm not sure it can sustain it. And the more I thought about that, the more I realized that this is Ubisoft we're talking about here. They are the kings of forcibly lowering people's expectations. And then there was the leaked pre-alpha footage that was just terrible, and everyone rightfully dropped a WTF bomb on Ubisoft's face. The company came back and said it wasn't the way it seemed and that the footage was way out of date, but I don't know, man. The closer we get, the more nervous I become. I think, given the track record we're talking about here, we might be on track for the biggest disappointment of the year, which is actually another parallel to losing my virginity. What do you guys think? Did I miss a game here, or is one of the games on this list actually awesome? Leave a comment below and let me know. I have been the Higgs from MMOplay.com. This has been an episode of MMO Play Dailies. Be sure to thumbs up, subscribe, and share this video like a venereal disease. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.